Welcome back to class number 5 in the BullyProof series on standing up for yourself, both physically and verbally. But I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to let these people prove the point.
Because I look differently, my childhood experience was very unique in the fact that at a glance, I'm automatically sorted from the population. And I think that sortation is something we naturally do. And I often found humorous ways to deal with that.
If teasing and making fun of you hurts you, then the person's going to keep doing it.
I would be the last one picked for anything. I would be, that kind of thing. So a lot of times when someone would call someone else's name, I'd just walk over there. And, they had no idea what to do. They'd call the jockiest, hunkiest, biggest guy's name, and I'd just stroll right over.
What do kids say to you, the bully? What exactly do they say?
It was about how big I was fat, just insults like that.
Pecking order has to do with a barnyard and a bunch of chickens. And they all peck on the weakest of the chickens.
In the beginning, I did take it personally, and it did really affect how I thought and moved, and it really did dig deep.
He gets pecked on by the meanest rooster, the next meanest rooster, the next meanest, all the way down. He's the low man on the totem pole.
I was about 8 or 9, and it was really bad then when I was in elementary school and middle school.
I grew up shy. I was overweight. I still am. I don't care. I'll get there when I get there. But that prompted the kids in school to make fun of me.
What'd they call you?
I'm Japanese, which you can't probably see now, but it was more prominent when I was younger. They made fun of me because of that. Slanty eyes, whatever. They called me fat a lot.
Now, if he would go ahead and peck one of those chickens and whip the next chicken up, they'll typically all leave him alone now because they know he'll fight, that he'll protect himself. All he's got to do is peck back.
One time I actually asked a kid why he felt that he needed to insult me, and they just become completely lost and feel awkward and walk away.
Really? You never got an answer why?
No, I have never gotten an answer that was coherent.
When I got to middle school, though, there's that movie that came out called Stand By Me. Mm-hmm. And they do the boom baba when I walked. I just started joining in on it one day.
What'd you do?
I just started going boom baba boom. When I walked down the hall, I just start doing that. So, and then
What happened? What did they do?
They were stunned. It made me feel great, and it changed everything for me because I was laughing at myself. I knew I was overweight. I knew that other kids, the skinny popular kids, were making fun of me. So I just said, I'm just gonna do it my own way. That was my favorite movie anyway. So I wasn't gonna let them take that favorite movie of mine and turn it into something that I would hate.
You got to remember, too, growing up and being laughed at probably mostly every day of my life. Here's a great story. In high school, I'd play ping pong. Now, to throw a ball, I would have to swing my whole body and just to throw a ball 30 feet. I have to use every muscle I had. Well, anyway, to play ping pong, I'm really good. I don't know why or how that happened. But I would be at a party and I'd play people in ping pong and I'd whoop them. And they'd say, well, you're pretty good for you. And I go, for me, I just whoop you.
It doesn't make any sense. It seems like they're just kind of troubled and they think they need to take it out on me.
It's those comebacks. I was so ready when people would tease me or laugh at me, I had to have something.
It's really pathetic how easy it is to make them just want to leave. After a while, everybody just realized every time I go up to him, I end up looking like a moron, so I may as well not do it anymore.
My first fight, there was a neighborhood kid that lived a few doors from me that bullied me. I was the fastest kid in the neighborhood for my age, so I could just always outrun him. He'd punch me when I wasn't looking, and stuff like that.
That would be bullying.
Or he'd threaten me, and I'd take off running. One day, my mother was pregnant with either my brother or my sister, and she was sitting in a chair out at the edge of the street, and this kid came down there, was kind of mouthing off with me, and he picked up a rock and threw it at me, and I stepped out of the way, and he hit my mother in the face with the rock. So I punched him, and he went home crying. The rest is history.
At that moment, you weren't afraid of him anymore.
No, I was defending my mom. It was just, I didn't even think about it.
Did you hurt him?
Oh yeah, he went home crying. I never had problems with that kid again.
A lot of people assume, especially because my facial features are smaller and I look so much different, they just assume that I have some mental disability. I was in McDonald's as a teenager. I think I was about 17, and we were on a class trip. So I'm in there with all my friends, all my peers, and I walk up to the counter, and the girl leans into me, and she says, "May I help you?" And I just stood there for a second, and I turned around, and I looked around, and I said, "Is there anyone in here who can speak faster than this girl?"
You had a young lad right now, you're the dad, and you had a kid at school, and he came back and said, "These guys are pushing me around the locker." What would you tell him?
I'd ask him if he liked putting up with that and if he liked how he felt every time that happened to him. And how long are you going to let him do that? Are they just going to do that to you every day?
There's a boy, me and him came up with, he said, they're calling you elephant. He said, well, why don't we just make it shellephant? So I came up with the term shellephant, and because my name's Shelly, so, play on words. So, hey, shellephant, hey there, how you doing? Didn't bother me. Just another day at school.
It really didn't bother you.
Really didn't. After that, like when I was younger, it just all of a sudden it clicked in that, when I was talking about the boom baba thing, it clicked. I'm not taking this anymore. This is stupid for me to have my life revolve around these people and what they think about me. You feel so prideful when you walk away from that situation. You've flipped the switch right on somebody. You feel proud of yourself to walk away.
Did you notice something about all these people? They all had the ability to laugh at themselves, and they all stood up for themselves, and their self-esteem was in check, and they felt great about themselves. You saw it on their face. The next one coming up, what if I told you there were gifts in being bullied? And I'm going to prove it.